I lose my weight. So tonight she brought me in when she picked up my grandson. She's like, here, Mom. She handed me this bag, and it was a pair of jeans that are 6 sizes smaller than what I was on when I started this almost 4 months ago. And I laughed at her. I said, these ain't going to fit me. And not only did they fit, I had room, and the sweater is a large, and it's big. So,
oh, that's awesome. Hey, good for you.
Like this.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
very
so
exciting.
That is very exciting.
Yes.
Well, Sheila, it's about 10 after. Why don't you go for it,
Okay.
girl? Sheila's gonna do our program tonight, so I'm gonna mute.
Me too.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. So I was really excited last week when I chimed in that I would do this storytelling, but I was laughing because I'm like, storytelling just makes you sound like, you know, you're a fibber or you're lying or, you know, like storytelling. So I switched it, you know, it shouldn't be storytelling. It should be telling your story. So it sounds more positive than storytelling. So I just wanted to clarify that real quick because this is your truth, your story about you. So I want to give you an overview of how to build your story. Then I'm going to give you an example by telling my story. And then we're going to kind of go back over it to make the notes match the story. And then we're going to go into a discussion of your story. Does that make sense? Do you guys like that thought process? No, it don't make sense, Glenna? Okay, I'll say it all over again. Thank you. No. So when you're telling your story, whether you're doing it verbally on a video or if you're doing it written as in like a post on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is you're using, the lecture guy, I have his name written down. I'll tell you later to you. But he said, you know, there's 5 parts to your story. There's the hook, which is your title, the struggle, the success, and then the call to action. Okay, so to start off, your hook is like a title, an ear-catching, eye-catching, attention-catching statement. And then the hook, you want to start off with, you know, like the example they gave is, I can't believe my life used to look like this. That's your hook. That's how you start it off. And then the struggle is for you to explain your struggle. What was your life like before you started this product that made you seek out this product, or the product, like you draw attention to it? What was going on in your world that caused you not to proceed in a positive way, not lose weight, not be mobile, not whatever it is that you weren't doing, the negatives of your life? And then what changed? Your successes, then what changed? Even the small victories. We always say, you know, there's non-scale victories. Okay, what are those victories? That's going to be the success part of your story. And then the last part is the call to action. And that's basically inviting people to join you on this journey. How can I help you do what I'm doing or improve your life? So when you write your story, those are like the 5 steps. Okay, so I'm going to switch over and like tell my story, but I want you to listen for those hooks. And if I go too fast, tell me, because that's just how I roll sometimes. Okay, so this would be me telling my story, but I'm not 100% confident with myself, I guess, to do like the Facebook lives. Like, y'all are ballsy when you do that. I'm always like, I'd rather record myself doing a video. That way I can like redo it or watch myself first. Lives scare me. So that's going to be one of my goals, to be able to do a live. What do they say? Do it scared. I'm going to have to do it scared eventually. But I would probably record myself first so that I could re-record if I didn't like it or fix it, because I know I do that a lot, and to catch my brain up with my mouth kind of thing. I know I pause a lot. So I would have to make sure that I would just practice, record myself, I guess is what I would do, or do it in writing. What you don't want to do is be too much, give too much information, make it too long, or be uninteresting. So you want to make sure if you're doing it written or verbally that you keep yourself in check, not to turn yourself into a run-on sentence and just throw up everything. You want to make people want to hear more about your story. So give them enough to hook them, but not too much to turn them away. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So this is the version of my story. So my hook, or I'm not supposed to tell you the answers. I messed up my own rules. Anyhow, okay. So, okay, I have to say it though. My title would be living my life from the sidelines. Okay. So I would start off with, I can't believe my life used to look like this. Work, home, repeat. Work, home, repeat. I was too tired to do anything but work. Too tired to cook. So that led to bad eating habits. Too tired to go anywhere, so I wasn't mobile. Too tired, always looking for a place to sit. Anywhere we went, my husband loves to go to car shows, and all I could think about was, would there be any benches along the way? Would there be somewhere to hang out and sit under a tree and relax while he goes and looks at these millions of cars that I have no interest in at all, but it was something he would want to do. Because that's what marriage is, right? We do the boring things that they want to do. They have to do the boring things we want to do. Of course, our things aren't boring. We know that though, right? Okay. So I would always think about where am I going to be able to sit and relax, because I could physically not walk for long periods of time. Tired of watching other people having fun. I was tired of not being able to participate because my body hurt so bad. I was just tired of not living the life that I wanted to live, and not living the life that I knew I wanted to live was hurting my heart, so I was heartbroken in a way that I could not explain to other people. You put a smile on the outside because that's what we do, but really I was not a happy person. I was miserable in my own body. I had created my own jail in my body. So then it all changed. My friend knew my struggle and introduced me to a product that changed my life. Within days of taking this product, I was sleeping better, waking up with energy, an energy that lasted all day, not just quick bursts. Not just like I took an energy drink, I was good for 2 hours and then I crashed. This was energy that stayed all day long. Then I noticed my clothes were fitting better. Then I noticed the puffiness was decreasing. Then I noticed the weight was coming off. My family doctor was so impressed with my blood numbers and etc. And he reduced my prescriptions. All because of these products, I've lost weight, off medicines, and most importantly, I am living the life I wanted to live. Living the life I painfully watched others live before. Now it is my time to live my best life, thanks to my products. Now I wouldn't be a good person if I didn't share this with my friends and family. Ask yourself, are you living your best life? If not, I could help you. And then I would probably attach a picture to it if I was writing that out, or, with the video, I would make sure, obviously I'm reading right now, but if I were doing a video, I'd be talking to people and getting them to engage with me as if I were making eye contact with them. Okay, so if we go back over this, my hook was my title, Living My Life from the Sidelines. You know, who can relate to that? Like, you want it to be something people can relate to. I didn't want to be a sideline watcher anymore. I wanted to participate. And that was so important to me, that I get to that point that I can participate in life instead of just watching. The struggle, I started out with, I can't believe my life used to look like this. And then I gave a description of what that was. Literally going to work and coming home. If you've ever heard my real testimony that I give, I talk about how I'm a hairdresser and I love being a hairdresser. I'm behind the chair. Even though I'm on my feet nonstop, I'm not that active. I literally stand behind a chair for 10 to 12 hours a day. Well, on my 20-minute drive home, literally from my waist down, my body would stiffen up so bad that I couldn't get out of my car some days. I couldn't walk up the 3 steps into my front door. And that's real life. Now, those are the details that I would tell someone privately, not in a full-blown video. You know, those would be the nooks and crannies. So in this, when I'm talking about my struggle, I gave it in a nutshell. But if I were talking to you personally, I would be like, look, Terry, this is what my life was like before. And I would tell you the deep, dark ugliness of it, how I would cry, how my feet hurt. They'd be so swollen that, you know, I had to rely on my husband to take my shoes and socks off. And, you know, I was too big to bend over to do that. You know, those are the dirty, ugly things that, as a morbidly obese person, they would call me, I didn't want to talk about to people. I was embarrassed. Now, I didn't know that at the time. At the time, I just was like, it's none of no one's business. This is my own private world. It's my secret. And in return, you know, it ate me alive, because I wanted people to know that I was a happy person, because that's what people want. They don't want to know you're miserable, but that's how you were, or how I was anyhow. So that's I can't believe my life used to look like that. That's the struggle. And you want to give them just enough information to make them feel your pain without going over the edge. Then a success started with, in my story, it started with, then it all changed. Here's the turning point in my life. And this is what it started off with. Now it's up to you at what point you want to mention the products, but I want them to ask me, what are these products? What are you taking? So I only mention the product as a product, not by name. So then I tell the success, how did I feel? I didn't start off with the weight loss. I started off with the energy that I got, that I was sleeping better, that I was able to move. Then I mentioned the weight loss. Then that was the success part. And then the call to action was me saying, you know, I wouldn't be a good friend to anybody or a good person if I didn't share this with you. So if you need this, get a hold of me. I want to help you. So that's the call to action. And you want to leave it so that they're left with a question and an invite. So I'm inviting them, please message me, please call me, please let me know that you're interested. Can this help you? Are you ready to live your life? Are you ready to, whatever the struggle is, that it can relate to you? So my title was Living My Life from the Sidelines. And then I ended it with, are you living your best life? So you want to end your conclusion relatable in a positive spin to your hook. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you like that? Okay. So then the follow-up to this, I gotta find my note, gotta go back 3 pages. The follow-up to this is when you post this, whether it's a video or whether it's a post, anybody who comments on it, you want to publicly thank them for commenting. Thank you for your comments. Thank them for supporting your post. Tell them what an encouragement they are to you, no matter what they write, no matter who they are. Comment to anyone. Now, obviously, we as your sisters in this business, we're going to help support you. So you don't necessarily have to private message us, but anybody who is not with Truvy or not in our group, you want to go and turn this into a private message, and you want to re-thank them. You know, hi, Terry, thank you so much for commenting and supporting my post. Such an encouragement to me. And every day is a struggle to stay on the right path to healthiness and da, 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 da. Would you like more information? Always end your conversation with a question that makes them respond back. If they don't respond back, wait a while. I mean, not like 5 minutes, but wait, you know, maybe the next day, and then re-message them again, you know. But make sure you comment on all the responses, thank them, encourage them, and show value in their opinions. Then take the conversation to Messenger. Again, thank them, encourage them, show value to their opinions. So you want to keep repeating this. Even if you go back a week later and just say, you know, I'm going to pick on Terry again because she's right there. I can see her. But, you know, Terry, thank you so much. Last week, I can't tell you how much it meant to me that what you said on what you commented on my post. You know, it's a week later and I'm still smiling every time I think of your name. Blah, 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 blah. You know, so let them know that you're thinking of them because they commented for a reason. Because if they weren't interested, they wouldn't comment. They would just scroll on past that. If they were a naysayer, they wouldn't comment. They would just keep going back. Eventually, they might comment. But if somebody comments, they're either supporting you or they want information. Either way, you can thank them and roll it out. If you never get a sale from it or anything else, at least it gives you practice to keep moving on and keep telling your story. Does that make sense? Okay. So with those steps, the hook, the struggle, the success, and the call to action, I encourage you guys to write your own and put it in our group page and let us hear your story. And then if you feel bold enough, then put it on your page and we'll support you on your page too. And let's see what kind of momentum we can get from your stories. Because I think everyone has a story and it's yours and it's great and we all need to hear it. And we definitely, no matter what your struggle is, no matter whether it's you're not losing weight as fast as you would like, or you're not, your mobility, your whatever your issue is, you know, we want to support you any way we can. And this is one of the ways we can support you, is just being able to connect and understand you and your struggles. So that's kind of like my, what is it called? My assignment for you guys to all do this. There's what, 2, 4, 6, 7 of us on here. Let's tell our stories and let's see what we can get going for you. Do you guys have any questions? No, none? Did you love it?
That was good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was very helpful. I want to add just a couple things, if you don't mind, that you don't have to wait till you lose 100 pounds to have a story.
Absolutely.
You know, so many times people think, oh, my story isn't as, you know, I mean, what is Sheilia? She's lost how much? 280 pounds or something, Sheilia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but you don't have to wait till you're there. You don't have to, you have got, you know, concentrate on what victories you do have. Pinpoint the things that were negative and now are positive, and they can be this big. That's still your story. It's in progress. It's not something that, you know, you don't have to have, you know, you don't have Sheila's story, you don't have my story, I don't have your story, but it is your story. And the stories that are most effective with your friends are your stories.
Yeah.
Not mine, and not, it's what, be transparent. The other thing I'd like to say is tailor your story to what the needs are to the friend that you're talking to. You might have a friend that is working a job that they absolutely hate because they have to deal with COVID all day long. And maybe you've got a story, you need to concentrate on what Truvy has done for you to change your finances so that you don't have to work that extra job at night or something. You know, think about who you're talking to and tailor your story, make it adaptable to where it hits home with them. Have you ever been listening to someone speak and it was like, wow, she was talking right to me. I mean,
Mhm.
it was me. I think a lot of times we give social media way too much credit. You know what we need to be doing? Picking up our phones, dialing our friend, say, hey, can I talk to you? I know you may not have the time right now, but how about we set up a time Thursday night at 7 o'clock? I have something I want to share with you.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
leave it at that. Make the phone call on Thursday night. Be ready. Go through your friend's Facebook page. Look at what their struggles are right now. Maybe they're a single mom. Maybe they are a pinpoint what their needs are, and then adapt your story to where it touches them. And I mean, make it real. Make it real, but make it to where it fits them. Tailor your story to what applies to them. Be vulnerable and be real. Uh,
Mhm.
you know, I think so many times I like to say Sheila was talking about a hook and then the end of it with a call to action. I like to say, if it could do that for me, what do you think it could do for you? It
Mhm.
may or may not be for you. You know,
Yeah.
that's okay if it's not. Give them make it okay right up front for them to say no if they want to say no.
Mhm.
But push those things and be real and vulnerable and duplicatable and simple. Nobody wants a list of scientific facts.
Right.
It isn't going to make sense to them. And they're going to think, oh, I can never do that because I can't remember all that stuff. Make
Mhm.
it real, make it simple, make it just you,
Yeah.
because your friends love you for who you are, not who
Mhm.
I am, not who Sheila is, not who Laura is, or Glenna, or Roberta, or April, or Terry. They love you for who you are. So be you. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. But like in my story, when I was talking about like my story, what I led off with is what she's saying. I led off with like the little non-scale victories. I led off with oh, let me turn the page here. Um that I noticed that I was sleeping better. I mean, that was one of the first things I remember is like I slept all night and I woke up feeling like I slept all night. The energy, like I noticed I wasn't tired throughout the day. I was good to go. Then it was the inflammation started releasing the puffiness, but some people don't relate to the word inflammation. You know, so I used a word that was relatable to most people. The puffiness in my face, in my neck. I remember the first time I noticed that I had like bones right here. Like I'm like, ooh, what is that? My chin doesn't connect to my chest. You know, there's something in here. What is this? You know, and then it was noticing necklaces. Now I've been on this kick lately where I'm like, oh, here's the picture of me at my biggest with this necklace on. I want to put that necklace on right now and see how it looks on me. That's a visual people can say, oh, she's not lying. She's not using a filter. She's not, you know, I had someone accuse me of using a filter the other day and I was cracking up because I was like, why do you think I'm using a filter? Because like I always wear makeup. I always have my hair done. I'm not sure why you always think I'm wearing or using a filter. And she's like, because your hair's blue. I'm like, my hair is blue. Like, I'm a hairdresser. Like, my hair is blue. Well, it was blonde last week. I'm like, it needed colored. Like, it fades to blonde and then it goes back to blue. Like I color it blue. But she thought I was like misleading people by using a filter. And I'm like, no, my hair really is blue. Like you obviously don't know me, or else you would know I would carry eyeliner and lipstick in my purse climbing a mountain because that's who I am. Like, so it is
yes,
funny.
I can attest to that. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny to me, like people want to find flaws.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing we can do is be transparent and say, you know what, I do have flaws. That isn't one of them. Let me point that out to you. You know, here's where my flaws are. When I look at myself in the mirror, I still see a 446-pound woman.
Mm-hmm.
I get emotional when people are like, clients come in and say, hey, skinny. It's almost condescending the way my brain thinks of it. Because I'm like, I'm not skinny. Let me point out where I need work. So self-acceptance is still an issue, but the point is we all have flaws. We don't need to point them out to each other. So when people come at you like that, it's just like, oh my goodness.
I have a question for anybody that was with the other company before this one, because this came up in a meeting that I had this week. People, when she posts things and says things about what she's doing now, they're like, oh, you did that before though, and it didn't work, or it didn't work for me, or blah, blah, blah. So how do you answer those things, or how do you deal with that part of the story where, oh, I switched? Because I deal with that too. With some people, they're like, are you still with Plexus? No, you know, but I don't know how to, I don't know, because, well, I thought that worked, and now does this work? And you know what I'm saying? How do you?
Well, because I've gotten that too. And I go to the timeline. I'm like, well, I can show you in a timeline where when I started that product with that company, I had huge success. And then things changed. We didn't know what happened. On the inside of it, we didn't know what happened. We just know that they had a new and improved formula that ended up not being new, or it was new, but not improved.
Right.
And then the weight loss wasn't happening. And then I started gaining weight back. And then I continued because I had belief in the product and I believed in the company. And I thought it was something I was doing wrong until I saw on Facebook, my friend Tanya, my friend Laura, my friend Sheila, whatever your connection is to the new product. I saw that they said they found the original formula and I was intrigued. So I reached out and I'm like, is it true? Yes, so it's true. Here we are now.
That's the story. You're given the problem, you found the fix, and now you're talking about, because I talked to Glenna this week and I said, you got to list the problems, find the pivot point, was when we found the new formula, and then what it did for you, the solution. So yeah, that's a good way to put it, Sheila. Very good.
And then I sometimes, depending on, you know, how into that product system they were, you know, I will say, this is why I think that product didn't work for me anymore. And then I give respect to that company. And I say, if you are only into gut health, nothing else, if you are only into gut health, then maybe that's the direction you need to go in. Because I don't want to discredit that company 100% because people get turned off that way. So I try to give props to that company. But then I say, but if you're looking for weight loss, then I promise this is the better option. Give it 90 days. See what it can do. You know what happens with the other place. You can stay with that, but why don't you give this a try?
Is that working for you? And these conversations need to be private. You know, you don't do this, you don't blast this all over Facebook. This is a private DM, or this is a phone call. If you look at, and this conversation that we're having right now, isn't that so much better done talking on the phone than texting? I mean, it just works better. It just does. It just does.
Well, and people hear your passion. We've heard that 100 times. Right. It's not something I made up. People hear your passion. They hear your enthusiasm. They hear your belief, your trust. And that's what people, you know, people don't buy from their friends because they don't trust them. They buy because they trust them. So verbally is always going to be better if you can do that. You know, that's what someone said the other day. Why is Tanya always using voice messages? Why can't she just type it out? It's like, well, first of all, it's quicker to just hit record, especially if you're multitasking, than to type it out. You know, plus, I mean, if you're quickly typing, how many typos have you had where you went back and looked and like, oh, I didn't mean to say that.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes they just want to hear your voice. It makes it more personal instead of, you know, I haven't talked to you in 2 weeks. How you doing with the product? You want to also connect in their personal life, find out what, you know, do they have pets? Do they have kids? ask other questions instead of just being salesy,
Mhm.
because you want that relationship to build and you want them to have trust in you. And they can say, well, you know, I'm not feeling so well. This happened, or my friend has a real problem. And you
Mhm.
can ask then for a referral.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So, Glenna, I'm going to put you on a little bit of a spot here. Did you get to work on that at all? Your
Yeah.
story?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
I worked on it.
Good, good, good,
I've got my before and after
good,
story.
good.
But I haven't put it into a story yet.
Okay. That's good.
I
Baby
can't
steps,
get a
just keep moving
story.
forward.
Pardon me,
I
Sheila?
said, baby steps, just keep moving forward. That's awesome.
What'd you say, Sheila?
I said, I can't wait to hear your story. We all have a story.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always like, what version do you want? PG, G, or what are PG-13? What are them ratings? Depending on my audience.
R. You're bad.
Now I'm a Christian. I don't have an R anymore.
Good, good. That's good to know.
That's funny.
Laura, was anybody on the call last night, the training call?
I was.
Sheila,
It was
I didn't get
good. Did you like it,
anybody
Sheila?
that really wants to build your business, definitely get on and watch that recording. I think the link's in our on our team page. Laura posted it, so that's awesome.
And don't forget the Monday morning calls too. It's at 10 o'clock our time. And this week they gave away $500.
Yeah, I saw that.
So $100 to 5 people on the call.
Christmas
And
money.
it's good. They cut them way down to like 15, 20 minutes, which is great. It's a good way to start your Monday.
Yeah.
What do they talk about on those calls, Laura? I've been on a couple of them.
Well, this past Monday, there were 2 speakers. One was Catherine Horn Aguilar, and the other was Crystal Plemons Buckner. She's got 9 kids, and she's got a story, let me tell you. She
She
says,
needs a hobby.
yeah, she says, don't let people tell me they don't have time to do this business. I got 9 kids. I live on a farm. I'm chasing chickens and pigs and kids, and I homeschool and this and that.
Wow.
And they said, well, where are you? It's awful quiet. She says, I'm locked in my van and they can't get me.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
But she was a hoot. I mean, and Crystal and Catherine are so different, you know, how they do things, but they give little tips. Like Catherine, when she does her post, never mentions the product name. She tries to keep it all personal and just simple things, and always setting a hook, asking questions, or it, you know, she says, I like to be real and raw, and I'm not perfect by any stretch. And she'll get on in her jammies sometimes, or she'll have her hair she's got the most gorgeous hair, long and curly, but she'll flip it up in some big bun. And she goes, now, if the bun's high, you know, it's a good day. But she wants to keep it all real personal.
You know
So-
what? I do like those calls and stuff, but I find that on certain calls when I get off, I am talking like those people. Like y'all just don't even know.
Mhm.
And I don't talk like that. I'm like, what the heck? You know, or like the one lady was just like, but for real though, but we're for real though. I swear all day at work, I was like, but for real though.
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to stop this. It's crazy. Like I quickly adopt their dialect and their words. It is crazy to me. Does anybody else do that? No.
I do. I pick up Southern accents. I do.
I'm going to Tennessee tomorrow and for the weekend to Nashville. And I do that every time I come back from my sister's. I'll be y'all and soda and stuff, pop, any of that. They're
Soda.
slang is, yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. It's funny. April, do you have any questions tonight or anything? Unmute yourself. If you tap the screen, there should
I
be like
got
a
it.
drop. Okay.
There you
Got
go.
it. No, I'm good. I run the store, so I am there from morning until evening, and as soon as Christmas is over, I am ready to dive in.
Good.
What
get
store do you
started.
work at?
I run a Dollar Tree
Okay.
in Ashland.
Oh,
I'm
you
a
are
store
busy.
manager. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm extremely busy.
Wow.
Extremely. But the products have been wonderful. They've been great. Sheila cut my hair. I've known her for years. And just seeing her success and seeing that it's real. I know this person. This is real.
Yeah.
And so I dug in there and I am loving it. I mean, everything everybody says, the energy, the weight loss. I've lost 21 pounds so far. It's been about
How long
6
you been
weeks.
on it?
6 weeks. I'm hitting my 10,000 steps because I'm running at work all day long.
Yeah.
I have cut down my eating a lot. I quit pop, I quit soda, straightly water and H&H, and the product is working great. I just can't say enough about it. I'm so glad I found it. And you guys
Yeah.
are all so supportive. So supportive.
Join the
You
10K
know?
pledge
They
if you're
are.
doing the walking steps. Get in that.
Yeah, I've got that. I've got my Fitbit going. I
Awesome.
watched the 7 days. I watched that whole 7-day recruiting challenge. Everything just seems so promising. You just got to find the niche. I even got my son the other night and I said, you got to train me on Instagram.
Oh, cute.
He's 18. So I
I
said, you've
love
got
it.
to help me.
Love it.
Nice.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that's really helpful in keeping your funnel full. And it takes a little time. So think about you talk about niches. What are things that you like? Like we breed Dexter cattle. We breed bulldogs. I'm a medical office manager. I find all of those Facebook groups that I'm trying to get on. And like Dexter cattle breeders, Old English Bulldoggies, and the medical office management pipelines. And I plug into those groups and I all day long look for things to comment on. And then I add people as friends and I am adding. This is the kind of thing that's a farmer lifestyle. You've got to sow the seeds and then water and then work on those relationships. And then things are going to start growing and blooming. And I am sure 2021 is going to be a great harvest of those relationships that I'm putting in right now. But think about things that you like. One of the things, I did that 7-day thing too, April. And one of the things that really kept hitting me was stop trying to attract people that are not you. Attract people that are you, people that have like interests, people that live life like you do, maybe other farmers, maybe other dog breeders, maybe people that like, Glenna, she is a member of a group on Facebook whose all their names are Glennas, which is so adorable. How many people are in your group, Glenna?
397.
Wow.
397 Glennas. And that Facebook group is the Glennas of Facebook, which I think that's adorable. And she
It's
has
fun.
friends that she's making in the Glenna group. So, be creative with your mind. I'll be honest, April, I can't get Instagram down either. It drives me nuts. I hate Instagram. So I'm probably not going to do Instagram. I'm looking at LinkedIn, at growing it more on LinkedIn too. So just think outside the box. And I think when we get together and we talk and share ideas among each other, this is the best thing you can spend your week, an hour a week on, is this right now, because we're there for each other. and it's real. So that's my tip that I could give you tonight too.
Yeah. Well, I also want to throw out there to you guys that if there's ever a subject that you want us to cover, let us know so we can do the research and do the homework and present the best scenario or meeting on that topic for you, because that's, I mean, we love doing this. I get excited, as much stress as sometimes I cause myself over things. I love doing this. So bring it on.
Well,
Give us a
this encourages me every week. I mean, it just is, it props me up and it just encourages me. And, you know, I wish we had more people, but I'll be honest, if you have 4 or 5 or 2 or 1 person in your downline that's trying to work and do a good job, it's encouraging. So just keep
Can I
pushing.
be raw for a minute?
Yes.
please.
I'm having a hard time being excited and sharing the weight loss part of it. Because I'm not experiencing that very well. I mean, April just said in 6 weeks, she's lost what I've lost in 3 months. And I'm a bigger person than her. I should have been dropping it a lot faster. So I can't, I'm just having trouble pushing that part of it because there's just, I'm not so sure it's working for me. It's going to work for me.
Well, okay.
Now the rest of it's working for me. My energy level is amazing. The inflammation in my ankles and legs are just, it's like night and day. I mean, there are wonderful things about the product, but I'm not seeing the weight loss.
Everyone's different.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to, I mean, you have to look at, okay, if you guys compared, if we compared our diets, what kind of food are we eating? What are we putting in our mouth? How much of it are we putting in our mouth? What are we moving? What is our energy level as far as movement goes? Like, you know, she's saying she gets 10,000 steps in a day. I barely get in 1,000 steps because I'm stationary in my job. That doesn't mean I'm not active. It just means I don't move around a lot, but I'm physical. So I have to work extra hard I have to get on my elliptical every day, twice a day, a half hour, once in the morning and once at night, to be able to get that movement, that body of motion in. If we compared all those different things, all 7 of us would have a different answer, a different fuel for our body and different results. Not to mention any ailment you have, underlying conditions, prescriptions you're on, environment issues, how much water are you drinking to flush your system? Not to mention, those are all physical things. Talk about your mindset. If you are constantly in doubt, that is a heavy burden in itself. You have to switch your brain off. Even if you're not seeing that scale move, you have to tell yourself how amazing you feel and how wonderful you feel and how excited you are. Because when you change those endorphins in your head, your body's going to change.
Well, I am excited about those parts, Sheila, and that's what I've been sharing, are those when I get a chance to share. But you know, I'm looking forward to the day I can share the weight loss too, because that's, I mean, to be perfectly honest, that's how I got started in that, was because the ultimatum from my doctor. And then this, you know, this looked like a great way to do it, and to do it with friends, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe it's because I so desperately must have this.
Right.
I mean,
I'm
that's
just afraid that it's not going to work. Maybe I'm just afraid.
Well, don't be afraid. Write yourself a note that says, I am not afraid. This is going to work for me. And tell yourself that every day. Keep telling yourself that. Change that mindset. That's one thing that they talked about constantly on that GoPro 7 is change your mindset constantly. I have an identical twin sister, and I don't know if most of you know that. I know a couple of you do. Identical twin sister. We were born 3 months premature. I promise there's a point to this story. We were born 3 months premature. My sister weighed 1 pound, 4 ounces. I weighed 4 pounds, 3 ounces. They said my sister was not going to live because I was taking all her nutrients from her. Now, I say I wanted more room in the womb and I kicked her out. That's why we were born 3 months premature. But she says I was her afterbirth. So, you know, it is what it is. But the point is, our life was almost exactly the same up until a point. When we were younger, we were identical in every way. Same size, we gained the same amount of weight at the same amount of time, same height, we dressed the same. My mom did our hair the same. We were identical. We were like those two little twins in the movie The Shining. We always looked like that when we were little, always. And then the summer between 6th grade and 7th grade, I said, I am not going into 7th grade overweight. I said it. I walked that whole summer. We still ate the same foods. We lived in the same house. We did the same things other than I walked so much that summer that when we started 7th grade, I weighed 40 pounds less than Stacy. Okay. Let's fast forward a little bit. High school. I was always smaller than Stacy. She was always bigger than me. And then I got pregnant with my son. I gained a lot of weight. Stacy started a diet and lost weight. She was like, this is my only opportunity to ever be skinnier than you. Okay. So I got fat. She got skinny. Then she got pregnant much later. I never lost weight. She got pregnant much later, gained a bunch of weight. We both gained weight with our second kids and continued to gain weight until I got serious about losing weight and getting healthy. Now, Stacy, it took her, last year, it'll be a year in December that she made the decision to get healthier. Up until when I started losing weight and she made the decision to lose weight, my sister would not hang out with me. She wouldn't take a picture with me anymore. She didn't come to any of the family functions because she didn't want to be compared to me. I was heartbroken. But you know what changed in Stacy is not her jealousy of me, was that she finally got fired up and said, I can do this. I can do what you're doing. I can be where you're at. And I can show off sexy little clothes, and I can show my shoulder bone, and I can brag about my neck. And I want to be able to walk and go shopping. And I want to, her mindset changed. She finally got into a point where she wasn't thinking, I always tell her, like, we were like Tigger and Eeyore, only because of our mindset. Does that make sense to you guys? And so now Stacy's 100 pounds less than she was a year ago. And she's just now getting to where she'll let me brag on her and let me take pictures of her and let me celebrate her and let me love on her and help build her up. Because it was never about me wanting to be better than her, which is what she thought. It was about me taking care of me. And now she's finally like, oh, I need to take care of me. So I would just say your mindset is 1,000 times more important than anything else you'll do on your daily life. So that's what I got to say about that.
Write your affirmations down. Pick 4 or 5 of them. Say them every day.
I can't hear you,
I
Laura.
can't either, Laura.
Yeah.
You have to talk louder.
Now she's muted.
Now you're muted.
Write your affirmations
That's better.
down, 4 or 5 of those. Put them where you see them every day.
Mm-hmm.
And make them positive. Remember what I said. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it is true. I know it sounds fluky, but it's true. Think about where you see yourself. Get that mental picture. What you're going to look like. What are the things you want to do that you can't do now? Get those in your head and focus on those, and you'll be amazed how your body will transform to those. It
And you-
really does work.
It does. And you just can't quit. Do
No,
not
no,
quit.
I'm not quitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We're
I
not
mean,
gonna let you.
I mean, there are a lot of people
Good.
that would think 21 pounds in 3 months is a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And you know what? And like Sheila said, there's health issues to take into consideration, and there's medications and diabetes and that metabolic syndrome that just keeps you circling the drain, that tries to keep you discouraged. But again, I agree with Laura and Sheila 1,000,000%. You know, you just have to write it on 3x5 cards, or take some lipstick and write it on your mirror, or, you know, something. So you're constantly, when you need encouragement, call Laura, call me. I mean, call Sheila, call any of us, or reach out. And you know what, Laura or Glenna, you're not alone in this. You're just the one that said it out loud tonight. I mean, we all, I mean, raise your hand if you, I go through this negativity. Oh my word. And if it's not about my health, if it's not about, it's about, you know, a kid or a grandchild that I'm worried about, or, you know, it's just Satan trying to take up mind space. We can't let him have it. We can't let him have it, because your life is valuable. It's important, and your family needs you, and you've got to do whatever it takes to get where you need to be. You just have to.
You know what, too, stress and worry is such on the forefront of weight loss. Because I know, like, there was a period where I was like, could not get below 200 pounds. Like, I teetered. Like, one day it would be like, and I know this is bad because we're not supposed to do this, but it was like I became obsessive about it. So I would weigh myself every morning after my shower, butt naked. And it's like, okay, one day it would be like 201.6, the next day 201.4, 200.9. Then it would be like, I'd get there 200.4, and the next day 201.6, 202.1. Are you kidding me? Like, can I just get below the 200 pounds? And then my hysterectomy, all that happened with that. And then it was like, okay, 205, 206. And I'm like, and my doctor's like, honey, that's the inflammation from the surgery and the gases in your body and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, and then next thing you know, it's back down to 201. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to get there. And it's like 200.2. Like, that 0.2 haunted me for 4 weeks. 4 weeks. And the more I stressed about it, the worse it seemed to get. And then I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not getting on the scale. I hate the scale. The numbers don't matter, blah, 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 blah. Everything that I tell other people not to do. I finally was just like, okay, just, and then when I weighed myself a week later, 196.2. And it was because I wasn't worried. I wasn't letting that stress affect me. And I don't know how stress can get into your fat cells and blow them up. I'm not a chemist. I don't understand it, but it does. Somehow it does. So we got to, like, shrug that worry off our shoulders and just bless the process. What do I got over here? It was like, marry the process, but divorce the outcome.
Yeah.
Because the outcome is heavy. The outcome is heavy. It's too much of a burden sometimes. When you say, oh, I want to lose 100 pounds, we need to say, I want to lose 5 pounds.
Yeah.
When you want to lose 500 pounds, you need to say, I'm going to lose 1 pound. You got to do it a little bit at a time. So that when I heard that saying, I was like, at first I was like, that's kind of weird. But the more I thought about it, it so applies to what we're talking about right now. So applies. So marry the process, but divorce the outcome. Let's get rid of it. And they say, you know, what is that saying about divorces being worth their money? You know, they cost so much because they're worth it.
Yeah.
You guys never hear that?
So much, you know, plug into somebody that, you know, I'm telling you, you got to plug into, just like Laura said, those affirmations, and people that there's YouTube videos that are life coaches that help with the mindset. mindset encouragement videos on YouTube or whatever you got to do. Listen to one of those every morning before your feet hit the ground. Listen to some encouraging. Stay in the encouragement zone.
Yeah.
Forget every time you start going in the discouragement zone, catch yourself and turn it around.
Two people that I love that I subscribe to for motivation is one, Les Brown. We all love Les Brown.
Les
If you've
Brown.
heard him, you will
Yeah.
laugh
Yeah.
every time. Even if you hear the same joke 50 times, when he starts his chuckle, it's over
Goes,
with.
"Oh,
I'm-
It's a little
behave.
something, something.
Oh,
yeah,
behave."
yeah. And I love it. So he's one. And then if you've ever heard Rita Davenport,
Yeah, she's good.
she is like the ornery side of me. Like I get her humor like there's no other. She cracks me up. And she is also good for, helping to motivate you and build your self-esteem and whatnot. She's amazing. So those are two people I can just throw out there that you would, if you want to laugh through the process.
And yeah, and you can start small. This week, like Sheila said, this week I'm concentrating on 1 pound, and this week I'm going to add some extra steps, and I'm going to add some extra protein. I'm going to add some, what can you do to make, as long as you're reaching for it and keep going for those, you can get there. You can absolutely get there.
The funny thing, Glenna, is a year from now,
Yes.
I just know my heart of hearts tells me a year from now, if you watch this video and
Yeah.
you listen to these conversations, you are going to be like, I don't even know what was wrong with me. Like, that was crazy.
True.
I hope so.
True.
You are gonna,
Yeah.
you're
I hope
gonna
so.
laugh,
Yeah.
like, how many
Ladies.
times?
I don't mean to interrupt you. It's my 30th anniversary tonight, and I've got to get going. I got a ton of stuff on top of that to do, but I want to wish you all happy Thanksgiving and love you all.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Terry.
Bye.
Bye, Terry. Happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we
Just-
probably better
you're gonna-
wrap it up. But this is
Yeah.
a really good time tonight.
I know, I
Anybody else have
keep
any other
it going.
comments?
I'm sorry.
I know, no, it's good. It's
Did
good.
everybody see the other early Black Friday special where if you order the combo, they're throwing in a bag of True Fix
Yes.
All that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
and it's just for 7 days that they're doing that.
Yeah.
No, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah. It's in your back office.
Yeah, I'll have to look.
All right. Well, I say we can wrap it up. Thank you guys for joining us. And
Thank you for doing your story, Sheila.
Yeah, that was good.
That was good.
thank
I
you,
got
thank you.
notes.
All right.
Glenna. Hey,
Well,
Happy
Love you,
Thanksgiving, everybody.
Good
Thanks.
to see
You
you,
all too.
Roberta.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.